Hi, how do you like being spooked? I love being spooked out of my wits, really. So let me tell you a story which took place in Galicia, in Spain. And this story was told to me by my grandma. Now, the thing is, I'm not sure whether this is a story or if it is true. Is it possible? I would like to believe it is, because if it is possible, it is a lot spookier than you may think. Okay, so here it goes. There are this young couple. They live in the countryside. They tend to the cattle. They have sheep and they have a few cows, and they milk the cows and they take care of the animals, and they have a few crops and whatnot. I mean, they do whatever people used to do at the beginning of the 20th century in countryside Spain. And, well, they are happy, so to say. They are poor, but they are happy. Now, the thing is, one of those evenings they are going to bed really early because there's no electricity, so they didn't have all these things we have these days. They didn't have a television, a cell phone, a computer, electric lights or anything, and they have to get up really early in the morning because working in the countryside really requires that you get up early, before sunrise, many times. And it's very cold outside, so they have this fire going on, and they are really cozy in the cottage. And they go to bed, and they are asleep. They really sleep fast because they are really tired. I mean, working the fields is hard work, so when you go to bed, you really sleep deeply. But suddenly, they hear a noise, a really loud noise, and it was a noise of something falling to the ground. They had a kitchen, and in the kitchen they had a cupboard, and in the cupboard they had jars with, I don't know, beans and that sort of thing, and lentils and whatnot, and they heard the jars falling to the ground. So the girl wakes up and she elbows the husband and she says, "Darling, please, there's someone in the kitchen." "All right," he goes, "I'll go see." He was really rubbing his eyes because he was so very sleepy, but anyway, just to please her, he said, "Okay, I'll go watch." And so he did. As he was getting out of bed and putting a coat on, he thought, in the meantime, I'll try to, I don't know, stir the fire to see if it is still alive or if I have to put a log in the fire. And, well, he got up and he went into the kitchen just to find all of the jars on the ground. Really, he couldn't believe his eyes, and he thought someone had broken into the cottage. So he took a log from the pile and he was raising the log to see who was about, but he couldn't see anyone really. They had a dog, and the dog was cornered, sort of scared to death and not moving, but it didn't bark. I mean, the dog was frozen still with fear. And so he thought, what's this? Because there was no one. He thought an animal might have gone into the house and done all this damage. But, well, the jars were on the ground and the grain were lying scattered about. And so he called his wife, and she went in and she said, "What's all this?" They were in a real state of confusion, because when you are fast asleep and suddenly you wake up to such a scene, you don't really know if this is a dream or if you're awake or what's going on. So she went next to the husband and she said, "I don't know what this is. Can you please tell me, is there an animal in here? What's going on?" And he said, "I really don't know. I can't see anything. I can't see anyone. So let's watch to see what happens." But everything was still. The dog was scared frozen on a corner, and he wouldn't move, and they were calling him, and he wouldn't go. And so they didn't know what was going on. What they decided to do was clean up the mess, and go to bed again. If you want to know how this goes on, stay tuned for the next episode. Bye bye.